jazzing up your day with a touch of soul. The Living Room on 938 Live.
Welcome into the Living Room on 938 Live. I'm Justine Moss. Well, since 1988, since 1988, the Boys Brigade Share a Gift project has aimed to teach the boys to care and share for the less fortunate. And with us to tell us more in the studio this morning is Desmond Koh, Executive Director of the Boys Brigade, and also Cadet Brenden Lee, who has been helping with the project for about 7 years. Welcome.
Hi, thanks.
Thank you so much for coming in to chat with me today. Now, Desmond, let's start with a little bit of background. I mean, it started in 1988.
Yes, that's right. So it's a very long project, isn't it?
Yeah.
27 years. And of course, when we first started out, it was just one box in Orchard Road. We collected only 7,000 gifts. It was a humble start, but it was it reminded us that we could do it if we wanted to, and Singaporeans were willing to give. And really, that just started something that has gone on for this is 27th year, and we're so happy that as an organization we're able to bless the community in this simple way.
It's fantastic. I mean, 27 years, as you say, and it's just grown and grown
yes,
and
that's
grown.
Right.
But this year, the Boys Brigade Share a Gift project, they'll be actually making some changes to your signature food hampers. Can you tell us more?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a project this long requires us to constantly look at the project, tweak it, improve it, make changes as the society changes as well. And one of the things we recognized that there was a shift in demographics of our beneficiaries, and therefore some changing needs. So we decided this year to speak to some of the social workers who are working directly with the beneficiaries, and we found out that they would like different items, or to see more of certain items in their hampers. For example, a lot of them said that they weren't doing so much cooking anymore. Mm-hmm. So maybe they didn't need as much rice as they would in the past. Instead, they wanted things that were more easily accessible to them, like perhaps 3-in-1 beverages, biscuits, and even more nutritious items like adult milk powder. So those are some of the items that we're appealing for and trying to put into the new bags.
And then all they really have to do is either mix it with cold or hot water.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's nutritious for them, it's convenient for them.
Fantastic. Now, Brenden, 7 years that you've been helping out.
Yes.
Yeah. And how have you seen, Desmond's talked about the growth as well, but how have you seen about the last 7 years of it growing?
I think that the boys have actually grown a lot. Like, the boys have learned a lot of lessons and life lessons that I think that bring them a long way through their life, and that helps to make them a better person.
Yeah.
And to make this world a better place. Yeah.
And what have you enjoyed most about the past 7 years working with the project?
I think what motivates me to come back is actually the smile on the beneficiaries' faces, because when we give them the hampers, they really are very grateful to you, and they really thank you a lot, and that really encourages me to actually come back.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, Desmond, you mentioned the changes to the signature food hampers, but I understand that the main gift box, you've given it a sort of a bit of a tweak, a whole new look.
Oh, yeah. Well, as the name suggests, the primary purpose of the box was actually to also be a collection point. Mm-hmm. And the main box is also quite iconic for us. It stood out as the sort of the symbol for the project. But about 3 years ago, we moved the main box out of Orchard Road and into the heartlands. And this year, for the main box, we decided, instead of having a usual 4-sided enclosed box, we decided to open up the box and make it a glass box or see-through box. And so people who visit the box can now actually get more information about the project. We've put up a little exhibition there so they can find out a little bit more about the project that's been on for 27 years. And we hope that by that way, besides depositing the gifts, they can also try and understand the project a little better, why we do it, who receives the gifts, and so forth. Mm-hmm. And we even set up a little selfie corner if they just want to come in, take a little selfie, show that they were part of the project this year. I think it's about creating memories, and also about getting them involved, not just physically, but also touching the heart. Of course, we talk about benefiting those receiving, but I think those volunteering too will benefit from the project in so much as, understanding the needs of other Singaporeans and also having the opportunity to do something about it.
And people love to give, and at this time of year especially, it's a wonderful thing they're doing.
Yes.
And I guess also with an open box like that, Desmond, people can have a look and see what other people have donated.
Oh yeah,
and get inspiration from that.
Yeah, that will definitely happen. We have a little table there with some products in case people wondering what to donate to the project. But yes, I think the box will make it more inviting for people to want to come in and find out a little bit more. And instead of just rushing over and depositing their goods, they can actually pause for a little while and just read up a little bit more about the project, get a little bit more updates. And I think that will probably better engage donors, and hopefully, on our part, it will be a better communication to the public.
Yeah, and I guess you've got a lot of volunteers working for you to distribute those as well.
Oh yes. We're so happy especially in the last few years as the project has grown, that more and more volunteers, either in organized groups or individuals, have been coming forward to volunteer in the project, and that's really, really, really great. I mean, when we started off, obviously the bulk of the manpower was actually our own BB boys. It still is today, but we're seeing such a great increase in help from the general public and from participating organizations. So it's incredibly heartwarming. I think beyond just giving food to the less fortunate, I'm very glad that the project actually serves to highlight the needs of the less fortunate in Singapore. And I think the coming forth of these volunteers is evidence that, the message is getting through, that, well, Singapore is really good, it's prospering and so forth. But let's not forget, some of our brother Singaporeans or sister Singaporeans who are also in need.
So how can the public get involved, Desmond, a bit more? How can they sort of volunteer their services?
Okay, so beyond donating your food items, we actually have to, sort and deliver them too. So we have had volunteer groups, organized groups, come into our warehouse to help us do some packing. But we're also trying to appeal to volunteers to help us do delivery. Of course, ideally you have a car and you drive. And you can go on to the bbshare.sg website and actually log in there, register there to do a volunteer delivery. And you can come with your family, or you can come alone. We'll pack in some BB boys to help you do the delivery as well. And you can actually help us spend maybe a half a day or if a whole day if you have the time to spare to do deliveries to these recipients on Comcare funded government Comcare funded programs who are staying in all these small flats, and we need to get the food out to them. So volunteers can come forward and support us in this way.
Fantastic. Now, Brenden, you mentioned, one of the lovely things is that you're seeing the smile on the beneficiary's face when you deliver these hampers, and you've been involved in this project for 7 years.
Yes.
Have you encountered any challenges over the years that you can share with us?
Any challenges? Well, I have actually done the collection booth before. I've been to Bukit Timah Plaza, the fair price there. And me and my friend had to collect the food items, but at a specific time he had to go back to return the collection tins for the money. So I was left alone at the collection point. So at that time it was around 9 p.m. around there. And that's when more people start coming in and start donating their food items because the supermarket was about to close. So at the end of the day I was left with a huge pile of food to handle and to pack. Yeah.
That's a good challenge to have, though, isn't it?
Yes.
We call it a happy problem, yeah.
Happy problem. Fantastic. You're listening to The Living Room on 938 Live with me, Justine Mosson, and I'm speaking with Desmond Koh, Executive Director of the Boys Brigade, as well as cadet Brenden Lee, who's been helping out with the Boys Brigade Share a Gift project for 7 years. We'll come back and talk more with them in just a moment.
A touch of home in the office. The Living Room on 938 Live. Time now to rejoin The Living Room on 938 Live.
Welcome back into the Living Room on 938 Live. I'm Justine Moss. I'm speaking with Desmond Koh, Executive Director of the Boys Brigade this morning, as well as Cadet Brenden Lee, who has been helping with the Boys Brigade Share a Gift project for about 7 years. Now, Desmond, you've given us a great insight into some changes this year, not just to the signature food hamper, but also given the main gift box a whole new look as well. Where can the public go and drop off these items?
Okay, so we're working with a fair price, so you can drop off your donations at 13 different collection points island-wide. Most of them are conveniently located just outside the fair price stores, such as the one located in Next, the one located in Ang Mo Kio Hub. So these are the very major ones, and then you can just refer to our website, bbshare.sg, for the rest of the 13 locations. Find the one that's closest to you, and it should be not a problem for you. And if you really can't get out of the house or the office to make a donation, you can always go to FairPrice online, and their portal will have an option for you to make a donation to the project as well. Couple of choices of different valued food hampers that you could pick up for the less fortunate as well.
That's wonderful. Now, this year, overseas Singaporeans are also able to be involved in the project by purchasing food hampers through that portal you just mentioned. Why did you decide to open up that participation to Singaporeans overseas?
Well, I think, we've always been trying to figure out how you could better engage Singaporeans, not just the hands, but also the heart. And I think one of the things which the committee felt very much this year was to see how we could involve Singaporeans overseas as well and help them to connect back to home. Now, last year, we already actually entered into some discussion with the overseas Singaporean unit, and we even organized a little camp for the young Singaporeans in June during the holidays when they came back, and the response was quite positive. So I think that spurred us on to want to pursue this line of how we can better engage Singaporeans overseas, and then working with our partners FairPrice Online, ensuring that their transactions could be received from overseas. That came out positively, so we decided this year let's put the word out. We continue to work with the OSU, and they've also sent out the information to the Singaporeans who are in touch with us, in touch with the OSU, to consider contributing back to the country with via this means.
Fantastic. Yes, it's all about communication, getting it out there, and reminding people, I guess, as well, that has been going on for 27 years. Well, Brenden, you, as I mentioned, you have been with the project for 7 years. Can you share perhaps one story or one lesson that that you've learnt?
I think one lesson that I've learned actually is the joy of giving is better than the joy of receiving. Yeah, and I have learned this lesson through this project, because when we are giving out the different hampers to the different people, they're actually so hospitable. Because when we went to the different houses, most of them actually welcomed us into their house to just sit down and to chit-chat with them and to just get to know the families better. And as well as Desmond has mentioned, there are few volunteers that actually volunteered their time off just to help to deliver the different hampers. And I was actually delivering a hamper with a lady, and it was during a weekday. And normally weekdays are a busy day for them. So she actually sacrificed her weekday just to actually support this cause and to help bring me to the different locations around Singapore to deliver the hampers.
That's
I
wonderful.
think that really touched me.
Yeah, and it is about setting aside time. I mean, we all live busy lives these days, but I'm sure we can all sort of set aside some time definitely to help the less fortunate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Desmond, with a target of reaching out to 35,845 beneficiaries, I believe that's the figure. How confident are you?
Well, after 27 years, Singaporeans do not disappoint. We know that they have a fantastic track record. However, I'm not one to count my chickens before they hatch. So we continue to appeal to Singaporeans to donate, and do donate earlier. From Brendan's example, don't wait to the closing date and then start donating. Donate early so that we can also be more effective in making our distributions to the beneficiaries. And of course, I think many donors would figure that rice being the staple, it's something that we receive a lot in terms of donation. In fact, if you check out our website, in terms of the amount of rice we need, we're already at about 60%. But the other items on the list, we could use more of. So I mentioned about the adult milk powder, canned food, halal canned food especially also is a category that's not usually well picked up, and cooking oil as well. So some of these other items we do need a little bit more of. People can get the updates on our website as well as to how collection is faring over the project period.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you both much success this year in the project, and I hope you really do reach that target. So thank you so much for coming on The Living Room.
Our pleasure.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Looking at life from a different perspective. The Living Room on 938 Live.